Hey there, it's Sam with a Friday video for you. Happy Friday, happy February, everyone. It's Friday, February 2nd, so that means happy Groundhog Day to all who are celebrating. If you're living through the same day over and over on repeat and nobody else understands it, then my condolences to you, and I hope you figure that out soon. More importantly, in February, most of us are focusing on Valentine's Day coming up in a couple weeks. Or I mean, I don't know what your personal plans are, but I just mean there's a lot of cultural hype and celebrations around that. So that's my topic for today. It's February. I am bringing on a couple guests. I have the one we'll bring on in just a minute, a couple of other authors to talk to. And I'm going to talk today about Valentine's for your characters. In other words, who is your main character? What is their love interest like? Who is their love interest? What is their relationship like? What would they do for Valentine's Day? Um, what's the key to writing good characters that work well together? Why do these characters work well together? So that's the aspect I want to talk about today from a writing perspective and a reading character perspective. But we're talking about romance for your characters. So happy February, Valentine's month for that. Um, so I'll have I think two guests are coming on, and I'll try to give my answer too, but also post yours in the comments. And if you have a character in their relationship you want to talk about, we'd love to hear from you too. We want to hear from create an interactive discussion of different writers and such like that. So here we go. It should be a fun time. My first guest I'm going to bring on. Well, actually, let me bring her on, and then I'll ask her more about her, but more about her stuff. But this is Tess Stockslager Martinus, who's written a zombie novel called Sam's Town, and I'll let you hear more about that in a minute. Okay, here's Tess. Hey Tess, there you are. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yep, I can.
Great. Everything working well with the audio and video, and it looks like awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for coming on.
Welcome.
How are you doing today? Doing well.
Pretty good. We got a beautiful sunny day here in Indiana, so I'm happy.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if it's still winter time or what up there. So
It's not sure. Yeah,
we feel like that too. Even in Texas, it is our winter. We get a brief winter,
right.
and out of that. Okay, so I just introduced the topic. I know I spoke to you, earlier, but I wanted to ask about Valentine's for your characters. Like, what's your character's love life like, and all that stuff. First of all, for anyone who's not familiar, just tell us a little bit who you are and what your main work is that you're talking about, so we know what's going on with that.
Yeah. So my name is Tess Martinez, and my right now mostly I'm helping other writers as a college professor who teaches writing classes. But I have written a novel called Sam's Town, and it's published under my maiden name, which is Tess Stockslager. And if anybody's watching this, if you look at my Facebook name, like Stockslager is my middle name. So if you want to look this book up on Amazon, it just says Tess Stockslager. Anyway, it's a zombie apocalypse novel, and but it's not just that. It's about friendship and choosing to live in the midst of despair, basically. So that's my book.
Yeah, I know I've had one before, been a while back now, and I've read
Hmm.
the book. I actually got to hear it in early stages when you shared with our writers group, and then I've
Yeah.
read it since then. And I mean, as a zombie fan and a Sam, that was even I liked it a lot. So
Yeah.
who's your main character then?
Who's my main character? My main character is Sam Larson.
Yeah, and tell us about Sam.
Sam is a guy who, in one way, is totally prepared for the zombie apocalypse because he's seen like every, George Romero zombie movie and he's watched all the Walking Dead and everything. And so theoretically, he has all this knowledge, but he's just not a person who's prepared in terms of skills. He's never fired a gun. Like he doesn't know. I was just reading my book a little bit. He doesn't know how to loot anything, which is probably an important skill if you can call it that during the zombie apocalypse. And he's just not a very athletic guy, and so like when it actually happens, he's not surprised, but he's also like, okay, what am I going to do because I'm not prepared for this. Sam also, and this is a big part of the story, he struggles with his mental health. He has pretty severe depression, and that becomes a big factor in the story as well.
Yeah. So I mean, having read your story, I really agree. It's not just a zombie story. It's as much, if not more, about the character development and what would mental health look like in a zombie apocalypse, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I know Sim has a love interest, or at least the beginnings of one in your first book. So tell us about that. What's going on with his love life, if anything? Yeah.
Yeah, so in the story, Sam is a guy like in his 30s who's never really been in a serious relationship, partly because he's just very introverted. But he meets this woman named Ramona, and there's a little bit of a love triangle aspect because Sam's best friend Adrian and Sam are both attracted to Ramona, maybe because there's not that many more, living people. I don't know,
I mean,
but
Ramona, like she's a cool person. She has
yeah,
she has
Ramona is a really cool
she
person.
has
Yeah.
merit other than other than the fact that there's not many options left. Yeah.
Right. I think he would be attracted to her anyway because she's very capable, she's very well educated. I based certain aspects of her on myself because she's also like a college English professor. But she's just the main thing that stands out about her is that she's just really kind to Sam. She meets, they pick her up on the road as a hitchhiker, but she is just totally willing to like jump in and like give her life in a way, like not give her, she doesn't lay down her life, but I mean like she's willing to hang in there and help this ragtag team of survivors, and with her skills and with her capabilities. So I think that's what attracts Sam to her, is that she's just kind and she's willing to serve, and she's and I think he obviously finds her attractive as well. So yeah, that's a big part of the story arc, is him kind of realizing that he has reasons to live, and one of the reasons to live is that he realizes that he's falling in love with Ramona.
That's a good reason. I would
Mhm.
say, I mean, just projecting from what I've know from other zombie stories and such, it's not so much that like you're out of options, but it's more like you've survived together and you have that kind of like
Right.
trauma, and that forms emotional bonds between people. So
Right.
that really makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember that's that part of the story, and I've I know I know it at least began to spring up in your first book, and last I heard you were working on a sequel, or you were thinking about a sequel at least.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ask you to spoil anything about the future maybe, but like are they going to kind of end up probably in a relationship, or at least some semblance of one? And if
Yes.
Okay, great, great. And if so, I'd ask you, I mean, you kind of answered this, but like, why do these characters work well together? Do you think what is it that I guess um is good for them about this? What complements their how do they complement each other? That kind of thing. What's what's the key to this romance?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it's so interesting that, I mean, all novels, I think, have a little bit of autobiography in them, whether we admit it or not. And I was writing this. I actually, the reason why I haven't completed the sequel, and I am at a point right now where I'm kind of thinking about getting back to it, but I just had a lot of things change in my life. And one of them was that I got married.
Yep.
And so I found, my husband and I found that because we both got married when we were in our 30s, like when you've been living on your own for a while and you kind of have your own well-established life, like you really know what you want. And I think that that's the case for Sam and Ramona, is that they're both a little bit older, and they have their own identities and they have their own careers, but then they find like, oh, I actually have room in my life for another person.
Yeah.
So I think that that's one of the reasons why they work so well together. They do complement each other well. Sam is a character that tends to be like really in his head and kind of like just maybe more passive, whereas Ramona is like she can be a very decisive person and a more active person. And so I think that she kind of helps draw him out a little bit. And so they complement each other well.
Mm, okay. They say opposites attract. I don't know how true
Mhm.
that is, but I mean, they play
Yeah.
to each other's strengths. It sounds like.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if in the zombie apocalypse, I don't know if Valentine's Day is still a thing, or what that looks like. It's I imagine there's other concerns, and
Mhm.
might be hard to. I mean, unless the zombie apocalypse happened around Valentine's Day and there's stores to loot, it's probably hard to find things like candy and flowers and stuff like that
True.
these days. But what do you think Sam and Ramona would do for Valentine's Day if that was an option for them? Or
Okay.
either what would
Yeah.
if the world was normal, or what would they do in their post-apocalyptic wasteland? I don't know. So,
That's a really good question. And I haven't thought specifically about Valentine's Day, but I've thought a lot about the timeline in my story. And in my story, the zombie apocalypse happens at the end of July. And so like a lot of the story is happening like late summer, mid fall, and then the sequel would be during winter. So actually I think technically on the timeline they would be separated from each other because Ramona goes to find her sister in the sequel during Valentine's Day. But if they were together, like maybe the following year, if they both survive, they are and that would like fit right into my story, by the way, because as you know, like my survivors are very interested in kind of just like keeping the good things about regular life like going, so they still listen to music and read and that kind of stuff. But they are like holing up or sheltering in an Italian restaurant, and they're actually like keeping the restaurant running, the people that are able to. And Sam, that's another great thing about Sam, he's a good cook. And so I think that he would make a romantic dinner for her. And I know his friend Frankie, who's another beloved character, I think that he would help with that, and just help them make a really nice Italian dinner. And Adrian, who's a musician, could like serenade them. I think that's what they would do.
it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone would kind of get out of the way and let them have the main room
Yeah.
for whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Hopefully no zombies would interrupt it. I know that's always the risk.
Hopefully.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Having read your story again, I really think it is less about zombies and it's more about the characters and their development, which I think is great. Yes, some people have criticized things like that and like The Walking Dead and stuff, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a human interest story. It's like, what
Yeah.
if, you know, what would real people be like in this in the zombie world, and they
Right.
still have, you know, relationships and everything. So that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fun times. Yeah, Italian sounds good right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
But okay, so I know. How do I ask this one? Um, as the writer, obviously, I think we could say you're shipping these characters together because you're putting together. Sometimes the writers have things that aren't destined to last, but I mean, it sounds like you want you have a plan for them, and you want them
Yeah.
to find happiness and love and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think the readers will get invested in this romance? Do you want them to be invested and to be rooting for Sam and Ramona?
Yeah, I really do. And I saw that a little bit just like with people that, kind of beta read it or read excerpts from it. Like they were really cheering for this relationship. They liked both of the characters. And there's a climactic moment at the end of the story with like it involves fighting a zombie, but it also involves like a romantic declaration. And I just want that moment to feel like you've been waiting for this the whole book and here it is. So yeah.
But yeah, we all look for those things, and I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know how much feedback you've gotten. I mean, I know I've given you some, and other people have too. But I know we were glad on that moment
Yeah.
when we were glad to see the direction they were going, and
Mhm.
I think for me, when she leaves to find her sister, I'm like, get it, but I wanted this to be a thing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, when there's no phones and stuff, how do people find each other again in the zombie apocalypse? You know, if if she if she got lost or died somewhere, Sam wouldn't know and all this stuff. And I'm
Right. That's true.
no,
Yeah.
don't leave. So I get it. I want them to, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Having been a reader for your story, I also want them to work. So I don't want to
Yeah.
say so that's great.
Good.
Okay, what do you think is the key? And then I mean, I don't know if there's a secret or just a whatever, but what do you think is the key to writing good relationships in good romance in your stories?
Well, that's a good question. I think like I would say that this is a key to writing any kind of relationship in a story, even if it's not romantic. And that would just be to spend time around people, people who are in relationships, listen to what they say, listen to how they behave, around each other and or watch how they behave around each other, so you can give it that authenticity. There's I'll throw this in here because I just thought of it when you asked that question. There's another relationship in the story of Sam's parents,
Okay.
who have both survived, and they are a really great married couple who's been married for a long time. And I really really had fun writing their relationship because it's like a very long standing kind of steady relationship. They've been through a lot together. And I had fun just writing like them just kind of flirting with each other and just being affectionate. And I would say restraint is another good key. I mean, unless you're writing in a genre where you really want to go all out with romance, but like just giving a little hint here and there, I think, and trusting that the readers will put the rest of it together in their mind
Yeah.
is usually a good strategy.
Certain parts that don't need to be shown on page, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, a good balance there. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this area, less is more. I mean, obviously, there's
Mhm.
you want a moment where there's a kiss or
Yeah.
the emotional climax or whatever,
Right.
but I, but I mean, there's a lot that yeah yeah. Usually in life, as in fiction, there should be a lot of subtleties leading up to that point. So
Hmm.
there you go. Okay. Cool. Thanks for sharing. And hopefully that, yeah, hopefully that helps. And I mean, for all of you, we, all of you writers out there still trying to write your characters. Yeah. We, hopefully have some idea, but that we can always stand to learn from other writers. So there you go.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
so okay. So if anyone has been watching this or listening, or if they listen to the replay later and they really love the sound of your story and they want to learn more about Sam and Ramona and want to check that out, where can they find a copy of Sam's Town?
On Amazon. Yep. It is that's the only place where it is. But you know, you can get anything on Amazon. And like I said, it's under, I'll show you this one has a not for resale banner across the front because this is
Yeah.
my proof copy, but this is what it looks like. And my name, it's Tess Stockslager. And I just want to give a shout out to my uncle, Mike Nair, who designed the cover art for this book. I think he did a really good job. Sam is a comic book writer in the story, so I wanted this to look like kind of in a comic book style. And I think he captured that really well. So yep, check out Sam's Town.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thanks for coming on, and I appreciate you being here, and hope you have a good February too.
Yeah, you too.
Okay,
All right.
see you next time. Bye.
All right. See you, Sam.
Let me see if you can sign off, or
Yeah,
I
I'll
can.
do that. That'll make it easier for you. Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, cool. Yeah, good thoughts from Tess about Sam's Town. The authors I have in here, I can't read everyone's book. I'd love to. I just don't have enough time. I try to read the ones I can, but I have read Tess's book. I've been on my writing wheel with her, and I think it's really great. So I would encourage you, go check out Sam's Town on Amazon. It's really good. I do have another guest coming on who should be here in a few minutes. So we'll wait for her. In the meantime, I'll try to answer the question for myself for a minute, about my story, Fractured Heroes, and my main love interest. Well, I actually have two main couples. I have like a primary and a secondary male and female lead. I'll tell you about the main one right now. And I realize I don't have my old copy with me, so let me see if you can see this picture. You know, it's on my phone. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can see it. This is on the right, or well, whatever. I'm not sure how it looks like on the video screen. Anyway, over here we got Robbie, aka Miracle, that's a superhero name, and Maria, aka Ruby, that's her vigilante name, and they're kind of my, I guess, primary male and female lead. And I didn't initially write them to fall in love. Actually, my other couple I kind of did envision that originally, but I just kind of created these characters, and made them out, kind of make them each distinct. And then I realized, hey, I had this, man and woman who are just kind of doing their own thing, and they're going to be working on a team. I mean, that's a good opportunity for a love story, right? And the more I worked on that, the more I liked it, and also rooted for them and wanted to bring them together. So there you go. Robbie is his powers are super strength and speed. He's honestly, if I had to compare him to a superhero, I'd say Spider-Man in personality somewhat, but really I based him on myself, at least in part, and at least it was myself when I was 20, because that's when I started writing it. So I've changed the person in some ways since then, but he's still like me in some ways. He's kind of the awkward guy, awkward, a little underconfident. He's idealistic, so he's a good guy, superhero. He wants to do the right thing, but he's doesn't always know what the right thing is. He's underconfident in himself. He's got some past baggage that has led to that, and and um, and so even though like he's a good guy and everyone sees him as a hero, he struggles to see himself as a hero, but he's still trying to do what's right and trying to help people because that's what he believes in. So he's a little awkward, introverted probably, and just also due to that and due to some circumstances of his backstory, he lives alone. He's never really been in a relationship before this, so that's kind of where he's coming from. And Maria is almost the opposite. I guess I do say opposite attract, and it's helpful to have characters who are different. I wouldn't say that's the only key. Obviously, in life and in fiction, your characters must have some similarities, but often in fiction, putting together two characters who are very different and then having them fall in love is an interesting, an interesting exercise for a writer, and it's kind of fun to see how that works. Maria is, rather than being, idealistic and hopeful, she's very, I don't want to say grimdark, but I mean, she's very tough, no nonsense, and she has a lot of anger. I mean, from her past, she is part of her backstory. She's been hurt by some powerful people, um, and some people who are close to her personally. I won't spoil much here, but she has some bitterness and anger she's holding on to from the past, and so kind of her crime fighting is just like she's in a way she's lashing out or getting back at those who have wronged her and trying to, and there's a positive element of that. She wants to make sure no one else gets hurt the same way she has, but I'm sure it turns into like bitterness and like I must defend myself and defend this because nobody else will. And she doesn't actually have any powers. She's just one of those people like like Batman. I mean, she's not to the level of Batman, but like the vigilantes who are good at martial arts and stuff like that. She, she's taken fighting lessons. She's gotten pretty good at that, but she has no actual powers. So it's just her and her self-defense training and her anger against the world, kind of. And she's lived like that for a long time, and she doesn't trust others easily. Again, she's been hurt in the past, um, so she doesn't trust people easily and lives alone and all that stuff. And so I wrote these two characters and just kind of thought, I mean, again, I didn't originally envision them falling in love. I I came up with their personalities and their backstories kind of on individually of each other, and then I was like, hey, wait a second, these two, don't I could put them on a trajectory toward each other that would work. And so yeah, I really think throughout book one they start getting close to each other, and I mean, I guess by the end of the book they're kind of unofficially a couple. And I think let me see. Yeah, I mean, I really think, and we can all point to couples either in fiction or possibly in life where this is the case. But like Robbie helps to temper Maria and helps to assuage some of her bitterness. And yeah, because he's a good guy, and and he wants to be the one who like he wants to be the knight who rescues the damsel, and of course he doesn't want to be seen as a damsel, so they have to work through some of that. But he does want to be there for her and care for her in the ways that she needs. So that's one way they work together. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope my readers will enjoy that story because I really enjoy writing them. Now I, as the writer, ship them, and it's going well. And I want it to go well, and I want people to be invested in this. So I'm hoping that when I get my book out there, that's one element that will keep people interested and invested in the story. Okay, I'm bringing in my next guest. She's here now. It's sorry, I forget what her author name is. It's if it's J.L. Schmidt or Jenelle Schmidt. But anyway, this is Jenelle. I'm going to bring her on. Let her talk about that in just a moment. Okay, so here she is. Hey, Janelle, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. You can hear me okay, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you
Good.
hear me?
Yep, all the tech is working. Awesome sauce. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. Tell me again, remind me where you're joining from?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, that's right. How's the weather up there?
Unseasonably warm. It's like supposed to be close to 50 today.
Okay. Wow. Well, I guess it's warm for Wisconsin. Yeah. I don't know how long your winter goes, but
Huh?
I don't know how long your winter goes. I know it gets cold up there.
Yeah, it usually starts in November and lasts through about the middle of April, so
So could be anything. Okay.
could be, yeah.
Cool. Well, again, thanks for coming on. I think I told you in messages and stuff beforehand that I've introduced the topic on the video with people who are here already, but I'm talking about Valentine's for our characters because it's
Hmm.
Valentine's Day. So kind of want to know like what your character's love life is like and what's the secret to writing that kind of thing. But first, just to give some context, tell us who you are and what your major book is that you're talking about right now.
All right. I'm Jenelle Leanne Schmidt, and the books that I'll be talking about today are my Turum Archive series, which is gaslamp fantasy with airships and pirates and saving the world.
I remember you talking about that when I had you on before, which is I don't know a year ago or something. Is it J.L. Schmidt is your author name? I couldn't remember what how you stylized that.
I do Jenelle Leanne Schmidt. I do the whole name.
The whole name,
Yeah.
Jenelle. Awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to find it again now. And so it's the Turum Archive. What's the first one called, or what's
the first book is The Orb and the Airship, and the
right?
second book just came out. It's called Mantles of Oak and Iron.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, okay. I'm on your website now, JenelleSchmidt.com with your name there. So cool.
Yep.
And you said it's like not quite. I know we talked about this last time. It's not quite steampunk, but it's gas lamp or
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yep.
And then who's your main character? Would you say that?
Um, that's hard. I kind of have three main characters, but it'd probably be for the purposes of today's conversation, probably Captain Merrick.
Okay. And what's that captain like?
He's kind of a Han Solo meets Malcolm Reynolds. Yeah, I like your shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it says I know, and then
Yes.
the one of Layla says I love you. I should have had her on. I didn't think of it, but
Yeah.
I was like, people won't realize it's part of a set, but it is thematic for today. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the tough, gruff space captain
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of swashbuckling, doesn't think he needs anybody.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we all know the type. There's these. I mean, we use tropes because they're familiar, but character types who kind of are familiar and just make us think of other things, other personalities we know. So that's cool.
For sure.
And sorry, did you say was it Turek or
Merrick, Captain Merrick. Yes.
Merrick, that's right. Captain
Yeah.
Merrick. Okay. And yeah, I was confusing the words. Captain Merrick. Okay.
Yep.
And does he have a love interest or a relationship, or does he find one eventually? How does that work?
Eventually.
I don't want you to spoil the whole
Oh
story.
yeah, no, for sure. So in the first book, like my books really aren't romance forward. There are, it's funny because I always like my books have no romance, and then my readers are like, yeah, they do. It's like, well, yes, eventually. But they tend to be they just slip in there without me meaning to.
Writing genre fiction, but there's romance.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in book 2, you get to meet the lady who will be Merrick's love interest. She is her name is Catherine. She's the daughter of a politician and a school teacher. She's a school teacher, and she kind of comes across as a little plain, but she's got some spark to her personality that Merrick just can't get out of his head. And he kind of is like, I'm gotta, he's a pirate, and he's trying to turn his life around a little bit. But he also just can't quite figure out why her face keeps floating in front of his eyes. Like, why can't I get her out of my head? And so it's fun. There's kind of a lot of fun planned for the next 3 books after these 2.
The book 2 is one that just came out, you said.
Book 2 just came out.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know how a pirate and a school teacher end up meeting, not only falling in love. I mean, much less falling in love. Again, don't give spoilers if you don't want to, but
yeah.
It sounds like a fun set of circumstances to play with.
Yeah, it was. It kind of happened. Like I said, it kind of happened without me really meaning it to. And then all of a sudden, my beta readers were like, "We ship Merrick and Catherine." I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I do too." So
it was for me too in my book and with my marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time I got married, I meant it. But when we started dating, I was like, oh, I didn't And I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't see this coming, but great. Uh, yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool when those things just happen organically. And I know,
Hmm.
I mean, I was just talking before this, I mean, before you came on. Um, Often we say, I mean, at least in fiction, opposites attract. So
Hmm.
we like to take two characters from different worlds
Yeah.
who who should have no reason to fall in love and make them fall in love because that's fun
Right.
and
Yeah.
gives us interesting character dynamics to play with. So that's cool.
Yep.
So I guess I'd ask you. I'm assuming that they'll eventually, get together, and I mean, I don't know what the end will look like, but hopefully they'll find some happiness. But why would you say they work well together? Like what makes them, if anything, work well together as a couple? Or
Yeah, I think what makes them work really well together is that while Merrick is kind of that like free spirit, in charge of his own destiny, um, Catherine has also very much taken her own life into her own hands. And even though she's the daughter of a politician, a good guy politician, he's a
is she a
chief,
player?
huh?
Is she
Kind
a
of princess, yeah, kind of Princess Leia a little bit. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but now that you say it a little bit,
daughter of a politician? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
can that.
yeah. And she's built up this school that she runs, and so she's used to corralling rowdy small children. So rowdy pirates is not that big of a leap.
Mhm.
But she has a sense of adventure, and there's it's not like she wants to just stay on the ground forever. And so while he's kind of thinking, well, I'm totally wrong for her because I could never pull her away from that life, she's actually going, no, I've got a good thing here, and I've established something here, and now I'm like, she's even hiring other teachers, and so it's like I could leave, and it would still run, and I wouldn't be abandoning this. And but he doesn't know that, of course. So
Good. It's just kind of beginning of the Fluorescent book too.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Interesting how those things work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know a lot about your world. I mean, maybe you can tell us a little bit more, but
Mhm.
my next question is, what would these two do for Valentine's Day? What does a normal date look like?
Mm,
What would a romantic occasion look like for them?
mhm. Um, Merrick would probably take her on a ride on an airship because that's about the only thing he likes to do. And he would refrain from stealing anything while um no, yeah, they do go on a date in, I think it's book 4. So it's a while. It's kind of that slow burn romance type thing, but yeah, he takes her on a ride on the airship, and at night, so there's the stars up above, and everything's dark below, and then and he's just like, at the time, he doesn't even really think of it as a date.
Mhm.
And so when
Oh,
she's kind of when she's kind of hinting that, like, oh, this would be nice to do again, he's like, but why? and hurts her feelings, and then she serves him his least favorite jam. So it's he's a work in progress.
oh, no, that's funny. And I think we love to see those moments where it's like the reader can see it even if the characters can't see it, and we're
Yeah,
like, come on, guys, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So
So
I get it. Um, you mentioned how some of your characters ship these, or some of your readers ship these two characters even before you realized it, or even before you intended.
mhm.
So, I'm glad you had that investment. I mean, it's great when your readers get invested in the characters like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, as the author, are you shipping them now, or I mean, is that? You don't tell us your full plan, but like, are
Uh-huh.
you wanting to make this happen?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they work well together. I think there are a lot of they have a similar sense of humor, and they have more in common than maybe they would think that they do. So yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a fun ride. I still want to read your book. I haven't gotten to it yet, but my big TBR pile. But
yeah.
I've written it down as ones I would like to get and check out because I mean this I do enjoy good sci-fi and it sounds like up my alley. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope to check it out later, and
Yeah.
if I do, I'll tell you about it. But maybe I can be one of those readers carrying them on. Maybe by the time book 5 comes out, I'll be caught up. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, yeah, you got a little time. I think book 5 is supposed to come out next June. So
Really? Oh,
2025.
yeah, yeah. You must be a fast writer then.
No, I'm not a fast writer, but I decided not to publish book 1 until I was pretty stinking close to having all 5 books ready to go.
Oh,
So, because I wanted to kind of rapid release them. So I was like, 5 books over 10 years is I'm going to lose the audience. So,
yeah. I think we talked about that one last time too.
Yeah.
Like because you mentioned the comparisons to Jim Butcher, and I'm like, so I have a sequel now, the sequel to book 2 in the Cinder Spires, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened in book 1, so I'm gonna need to read a summary. So yeah.
I know. Yeah. I think I have book 2 on audio, and I was like, oh, I really should reread book 1. But I'm a little nervous because book 1 was so clean and none of his other books are. So I'm a little worried about book 2. So
Yeah. I read the first book of the Dresden Files, and I was a little surprised at how
yeah.
it was not clean. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was I can handle some, but it was more than I
Yeah.
was bargained for. So I get it. Okay. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll figure that out later. I wanted to ask you, what's the key to writing good relationships? I don't know if there's a secret or just a strategy or anything, but what do you think is the key to writing these kinds of relationships, especially romances that
Mhm.
they're really invested in?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Because again, I'm always telling everybody that I don't write romance, and then all my readers disagree with me. Um, but I think some of it is writing friendship first.
Sure.
And so that your characters can build up some chemistry. Um, I've read, I don't read romance very much, or at least not romance first.
Right.
You know, a lot of books that I read do have romance in them, but the ones that come across as realistic and last in my head are the ones where there's more of a relationship of some kind beforehand, as opposed to just like you're thrown into this book and she's looking at him and he's looking at her and they both like each other and you're like, but I don't know why. So that sort of thing. I think also, like, for me, I have to read it out loud, because if it sounds like, if it's cringy or embarrassing or like makes me go, oh, that's really corny, reading it out loud, then it's not right. um and that just works for me. I don't know if it worked for everybody, but
Cool idea. And I mean, I know with dialogue and stuff, there's a lot of things that like they work in our heads, at least in their first
mm-hmm.
but then it just doesn't translate. So reading out loud is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. If only George Lucas had known that when he was writing the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. So there you go. Okay, cool.
Don't like sand. Yeah.
Not
my 14-year-old was just recently rewatching the prequel trilogy, and she was like, I can't watch this.
You get it. And I mean, I grew up in the prequels. You know, I make fun of them as someone who loves the whole series, but
oh yeah,
you know that there's parts that were well done, that were better done than others. So
yeah. I total random train of thought, but I don't know if you've watched Ahsoka.
I have, yeah.
Okay, so I thought most of the show was really slow, but wow, Hayden Christensen can actually act, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'm glad to see how the fans have welcomed him back after 20 years or whatever, because it just. I mean, I know he got a lot of flack.
Yeah.
And I mean, other people have too, but it's like now. I mean, 20 years later, like the Star Wars fan base is the kids who
right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's our age who grew up on
yeah.
and they're like, this is canon, and he's
I mean, well, in all fairness, he did a fantastic job in Revenge of the Sith. It's just he gets a lot of flack, I think, for
with the dialogue and stuff.
The dialogue in the second movie. But he's a good actor. It was fun to see him kind of get to knock it out of the park again. So
yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, okay. I've been saying that like I don't read a lot of romance either, unless there's like superheroes or force users in it. But last week I reviewed a Star Wars book that that involved romance. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could talk Star Wars all day long. That's how.
Yeah. No, I know that's not our topic. But
Um,
another thing that I think really helps with writing romance is trying to insert humor, you
Yeah.
know, like because it just
Somebody,
I don't know, it's just anything to make it more realistic, I think. And sometimes, you know, romance is funny, like in real life. There are inside jokes, and there are, you know, just moments where, you know, things are funny just between you and your spouse, or just between you and your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And so it's like to be able to have that humor that maybe other people wouldn't understand, but to open it up in a story where the audience does understand
yeah.
that, oh yeah, they're referencing that, or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And people use humor as a way to flirt or to appear attractive and get someone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Cool. Well, if people are watching this, or if they listen to it later and they are really interested in your story and think these characters sound cool and this world sounds cool, where can they go to find your books?
JenelleSchmidt.com is the easiest place to send everybody as a hub. Yeah.
So it's Jenelle.
Jenelle, lots of E's, no A's.
Wait.
SCHMIDT.
Great. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, everyone check it out. Okay. Well, thanks, Janelle, for coming on today. May the force be with you, and hope you have a happy February too.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Okay. And thanks everyone for watching at home and for listening in. And yeah, I'm liking this format of the multi-author interview. I try to get it to work, and it hasn't always worked, but maybe we'll do this again. Do this again if it works. So yeah, hopefully in the future. So anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks for listening, and keep writing. Okay, bye.